Hello, I'm Terry Cross. I'll be reviewing Generational Perspective of Higher Education Online Student Learning Styles from 2014. A study was conducted of students participating in online academic courses in institutions of higher education to ascertain if there was a generational influence on learning styles. The specific research question was, what, if any, relationships exist among learning styles, generational groups, and satisfaction with online learning? Inferential and descriptive statistics determine statistically significant differences between baby boomers and millennial generation, as well as Generation X. Online education within institutions of higher education is experiencing a rapid and accelerating growth. Learning styles can be described as a description of the attitudes and behaviors which determine an individual's preferred way of learning. That will be one of our independent variables in this study. A commonly used learning style inventory that determines student learning styles is in relationship to online education is the Felder-Solomon Index of Learning Styles, which is used in this study as an instrument. A concern raised in this study is how well higher education can keep up with the rapid increase in technology. Within the literature, there is strongly documented research on the rapid increase in technology and its corresponding impact within business and the workplace. The influx of technology into higher education, however, has alternatively less documentation. Distance education, also known as e-learning, online education, or online learning, is defined by the United States Distance Learning Association as the acquisition of knowledge and skills through mediated information and instruction, encompassing all technologies and other forms of learning at a distance. And education can either take the road of working in a system that is afraid of change, or it can embrace change that is naturally frightening and further integrate technology into education. Another concern of this article is teachers effectively reaching a diverse student body through online courses. This study proposes that to design online courses that will meet the varied needs of a range of students, consideration must be given to generational theory. And so, with generational theory from Strauss and Howe, we have several categories of generations. The three generations that we'll be concerned with are baby boomer generation from 1943 to 1960, Generation X, birth range from 1961 to 1981, and the millennial generation from 1982 to 2001. So once again, our question, what, if any, relationships exist among learning styles, generational groups, and satisfaction with online learning? A correlation design was selected for this study in order to quantify a relationship between learning styles and that of generational age cohorts found within higher education distance education courses. The learning styles associated with the individuals found in each of the three age cohort generational groups was assessed using Felder and Solomon's Index of Learning Style instrument. Independent variables, each respondent's reported generational demographics, the independent variable, and the student learning styles. These variables identified through the use of the Felder and Solomon Index of Learning Style instrument include active and reflective, sensing and intuitive, visual and verbal, and the sequential and global dimensions. The dependent variables, Distance Education Learning Environment Survey, DELIS. Dependent variables identified within the study include student satisfaction scores reported through the use of the DELIS instrument using a Likert type scale with 6 predictor variables. The instructor support, B, student interaction and collaboration, C, authentic learning, D, personal relevance, active learning, and student autonomy. Data analysis was analyzed using descriptive statistics, chi-square analysis, and the analysis of variance ANOVA. So our first table, demographic characteristics of the population, consisted of gender, generational birth year, grouping number of online education classes taken, ethnicity, level of educational study, and reported overall grade point average. Frequency tables were constructed for the categorical variables of interest. The data provided in Table 1 here focuses upon respondent gender. As shown, slightly over 75% of respondents in the sample were female, with slightly under 25% being male. Students under 18 years old were directed to the end of the survey. Participants' birth year. Table 2 summarizes the population with regard to birth year or generational status. As indicated, slightly over 50% were millennial generation members, slightly over 1/3 were members of Generation X, and close to 15% were baby boomers. And 3, examination of respondents' ethnicity is summarized in Table 3. Nearly 90% of the sample consisted of Caucasian respondents, with all other races combined constituting approximately 10% of the sample. Student level of education study was examined by classifying these levels into certificate program, associate degree, bachelor degree, master degree, and doctoral degree programs. And here we have the active reflective, the sensing, intuitive, visual, verbal, the sequential, and global. Our results. The results of the study indicated a relationship between generational groups with a difference between groups towards the visual verbal learning style indicator. And in view of the current status of generational differences and learning satisfaction research, this study found that there were significant mean difference score comparisons among the millennial generation, Generation X, and baby boomers. Specifically, the millennial generation reported lower scores on overall satisfaction survey components as compared with both Generation Xers and baby boomers. Further, when evaluating the generational groups based on the predictors of student autonomy and interaction, these two predictors were found to have a statistically significant positive impact on student satisfaction. So findings indicate that student autonomy and interaction was found to be most important among baby boomers and had approximately half the impact among Generation X and millennial respondents. In the visual verbal learning style preference, the baby boomer population was more heavily tilted toward verbal preference. This study calls attention to the importance of institutions of higher learning putting the effort into designing online courses, keeping student satisfaction in mind, and remaining aware of the consequences should they fail to do so. Another recommendation for future research, instructor training in relationship to teaching an online course. Results of this study indicate that instructor support had a statistically significant positive impact upon student satisfaction. As online learning continues to progress, instructors will most likely be held to a higher standard of excellence, driving increased demand for tech-savvy instructors. And that concludes this presentation on my study. Thank you.